Welcome to the True Life News Show today, guys. This is a big one. It is finally about dang time. Major bombshell news that has come out today. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, Kash Patel over at the FBI, and his right-hand man, Bongino, are now in the works, and we have leaks of several meetings that have happened within the Trump Justice Department that are in the works for indictments for the Biden officials, including the big man himself, Joe Biden, specifically Joe Biden for the invasion into our country of the 20-plus illegal immigrants. Letitia James for the voter fraud, which is new, the mortgage fraud, which we knew of, Shifty Schiff for targeting lawfare against the January 6ers, and more. They said, and I quote, "The arrests are coming soon." Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I've got the receipts for you in a moment. We're about to get into the details. The Democrats are literally imploding right now. Trump's justice team is kicking butt, and I'm so excited with what I get to report to you today. It is time for the American people to truly see the corruption that has been happening not just for the past 4 years, but for the past 40 years. Not only that, guys, get ready. You know what? Grab some popcorn. I hope you're sitting back in a nice, comfy, lazy boy, because Trump is going for the whole enchilada. I meant that. Not only is Trump looking to use his Justice Department to expose the fraud, he is already now out to take out the biggest slush fund that the Democratic Party has. First, he took out USAID. Now, he's taking out the Act Blue organization. This is the largest Democratic funding organization in the United States. Billions of dollars flow through this organization. President Donald Trump is about to take major action against Act Blue, the Democrats' fundraising arm. Trump is set to sign a memorandum targeting foreign contributions. Foreign, keyword, guys, foreign. Who's ready for some handcuffs? Let me know in the chat. He is signing a memorandum targeting foreign contributions in American elections. Attorney General Pam Bondi is reportedly involved in the crackdown of the Act Blue organization to expose that the Democrats have been funneling foreign money into our U.S. elections. Guys, this is about as big as it gets. It's not just about finding the corruption. It's about finding the money arm, finding the arm that funds everything. And now he's taking out USAID, which they were using for their agendas. He's about to take out Act Blue. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you ready for MAGA to take it on? I'm so happy about that. But again, guys, the injunctions are not stopping. 2 more today. Federal judge blocks President Trump's effort to expand the proof of citizenship for voter registration. He signed the executive order. We need to show proof of ID. We need to make sure they're registered. We need to make sure they're real citizens. Federal judge has just blocked that. Another Obama-appointed judge, William Orrick, has now blocked Trump. This is a big one, guys, from defunding sanctuary cities at every turn that Trump is coming. He has blocked it. So now Trump and everything he's done to try to remove the money arm. If you can take out the money, you take out the beast. And that's what the Democratic Party is right now. They now have these judges who are left-wing judges fighting against the Trump administration, controlling it in a sense. Now it's going to the Supreme Court, guys. It is getting insane. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Want to say we got a big show for you today, guys. Trump Justice Team, Bondi, Patel, Bongino are on the works. Things are coming. Like I said, they said, and I quote, "The arrests are coming soon." Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at True Life News. We want you here. Please subscribe so we can take care of you every day with the top news. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. Guys, to everybody that gives a super chat donation. I want to give some love to Donna, Michael Hendricks, Yvonne Criado. Y'all show them some love in the chat. And thank you so much already, T Heavy Guy, for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Guys, y'all are so kind. Remember, this money goes to our local charities. On the 22nd of every single month, we donate live on stream to these local charities, guys. I'm so thankful. We got some big news. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, we're going to get into this, guys. The Democrats, they are now smearing like never before. The news I have for you today, get your popcorn ready because we're about to see some arrests happen. Check it out.
Democrats want to play a game of, are you smarter than a Republican? Jasmine, not to be confused with Davy Crockett, says she'll take on the best.
When you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk, he knows how to hire smart people, but don't conflate that and believe that he is the genius, because he ain't. It says a lot when you literally are supposed to be the leader of the free world and you're worried about a rising sophomore in the House.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Or you wish she was on your side.
That's a lie.
He also called you low IQ. I'm sure you're aware of that. Would you be willing to take an IQ test publicly, head-to-head against the President of the United States?
Absolutely.
Jazzy said she'd win a battle of wits with DJT, and Musk ain't a genius. Where did she get her confidence?
I actually wanted to be an anesthesiologist. So I've always been really good at math and science, but I didn't want to talk to people.
You wanted to put people to sleep, and you kind of are doing the opposite thing now.
Yes, I want them to be woke now.
Wow.
Democrats like Crockett keep telling us how smart they are. But where's the proof? What's one good idea Democrats have had in the last 20 years? Name one. They're great at telling other people what to do, but why does anyone listen? The people telling you what to do have never done a thing, and it's starting to sink in.
Lowest net favorable rating since the 90s. What do you think's driving that? Why are Democrats so relatively unpopular?
The sense that Democrats were cultural elites, on how they talked, issues they cared about, all the DEI programs. And so essentially, I think the vast majority, a lot of people in America in the middle of the country thought Democrats were looking down on them.
Yeah.
And they weren't competent to govern.
There's another word for that, snobs. We live in a representative republic. Politicians are at least supposed to pretend to represent the people. The country says, we don't want DEI. Democrats say, yeah, you do. The country says, we don't want gay porn in kindergarten. And the Democrats went to the Supreme Court and said, yeah, you do.
Pride Puppy was the book that was used for the pre-kindergarten curriculum. That's no longer in the curriculum.
That's the one where they are supposed to look for the leather and things and bondage, things like that.
It's not bondage. It's a woman in a leather.
Sex worker, right?
No, that's not correct. No.
Gosh, I read it.
It's a drag queen.
Drag
So,
queen.
Guys, that's in kindergarten. Do not tell me that these left-wing Democrats aren't messed up in the head when they're trying to put this drag queen bondage crap on our kids in kindergarten.
Drag
correct.
queen.
Drag queen. Imagine going all the way to the Supreme Court to demand drag queens in kindergarten. Catholic parents, Jews, Muslim parents all said no. But Democrats said, hey, we're going to teach your 6-year-old about gay sex, whether you like it or not. The country, in a landslide election, said, we don't want boys in girls' locker rooms. And Democrats said, you're all bigots, and we'll see you in court.
I'd like to announce that I'm suing the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the United States Department of Justice. Here is the opening line of our lawsuit. Minnesota brings this lawsuit to stop President Trump and his administration from bullying vulnerable children in this state. We will not participate in this shameful bullying.
Tampons, AGs.
Guys, let me tell you this, because I tell you this, I bring the receipts. This stuff that's coming out, they talk about bullying right here. After several meetings with officials inside the Trump Justice Department, arrest will begin soon, says Trump Insider. Guys, this right here is what's about to happen to them. Woke, crazy, trying to control, manipulate our kids. Why you keep trying to sexualize kids? Let them be kids. I'm telling you this, the more and more that comes out that they're trying to do, we are seeing that they are just losing it. If you appreciate what is about to happen, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, because I'm telling you, we need common sense back in the United States.
Trump to court, so high school girls have to shower with boys. This is the party who said, believe all women. And all women said, get these guys out of the showers. They're creeping us out. This is the party that said college boys, before they kiss their girlfriends, have to ask for consent. And now they're saying boys can just waltz into the girls' locker room, strip down, and no doesn't mean no. These snobs think they know better than the president, and not just Trump. A new report in the New York Times says Joe Biden didn't want men playing in women's sports. But Susan Rice told him, yeah, you do. Guess who won that debate? Not Joe. Susan Rice overruled the president of the United States. These snobs told you you were a gullible rube if you thought Joe Biden was lost in an Italian field. He was just going to go shake some hands of the parachuters. You've probably never even been to Italy, you country bumpkin. You don't even know how it is there. Not an iota of shame is entered into their brain. A CNN journalist asked a new media journalist who just got credentialed to the White House this. Listen.
You don't deserve to be here because you're not a real journalist. What's your response to them?
Well, I'm pretty sure the group of people in there spent, 4 years covering for someone who was essentially dead, and that's being charitable in my description of him, a president by the name of Joe Biden. So to all those people who are apoplectic over having new media voices, you guys failed, and that's why we're here.
Ooh, she's talking to CNN. She said, you guys failed. And I like it. She's using these big words, apoplectic. Like, dang, guys. I love the pit bulls that we got now, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the chat.
Are so fixated on their title that you never realize other people were doing your job and doing it better. The only real credential for a journalist is honesty. Just because you have a CNN business card doesn't make you a journalist. It just means you work for CNN. Snobs are obsessed with status. Journalists are obsessed with truth. Jake Tapper, about to release a book about the Joe Biden cover-up. Jake Tapper, he's acting like he discovered the cover-up, even though the whole country knew about it while he was denying it. We finally have a president who's alive, and these snobs say the president's just better off dead.
Did you like the 4 years of auto pen? Did you like the 11?
Actually, the markets did, the economy did, yes, actually.
No one's wages went up. Okay. And you had 11 million illegal aliens come into this country.
Yep.
I know that's okay with you, but you're worried about this one going back. The rule of law was
I am worried about the rule of law.
Yeah, but not for 11 million. They totally ignored the rule of law coming here. Now you're talking about it again.
The snobs love a dead
guys, I'm telling you, if you don't think that we're about to uncover the biggest scandal in American history, like I showed you, several meetings with officials. This is from the leading report. The Trump Justice Department arrest will begin soon, says Trump insider. And not only that, guys, you think Trump's playing around with what's about to happen? Look what he just posted on his website store, guys. Trump 2028. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We're about to see some crazy stuff happen. This is from the Trump store. Trump 2028. Do you want to see Trump win again? Guys, this is insane breaking news today.
President or semi-dead president because it makes him feel smarter and more powerful. And they can tell the president what to do and he can't say no. The snobs loved it when the stock market controlled the White House. And now the executive producer of 60 Minutes is quitting because he's demanding total control. He's saying, we want to lie about Trump every Sunday at 7. And the Paramount chairman is like, not great for business. 60 Minutes has been sued by Trump for being unfair, and CBS has a deal that needs Trump's approval to go through. So the 60 Minutes chief was fighting back tears, saying he did nothing wrong. Grown men in the media are crying and won't admit they tossed softballs to Kamala. Guy's a real drama queen. He thinks the country wants to hear Trump hoaxes all fall after football. The country voted and said Trump's not Hitler. No. But these arrogant peacocks say we don't know history.
Do we wait until he's Hitler? At what point do you say this guy is a threat or whatever? I'm going to quote the great Barney Fife. Nip it in the bud. That's what I say. Nip it in the bud. Don't wait
First, Carville says Democrats should play dead. Now he says Trump should be dead.
Wow.
Carville's telling you to do one thing one day, the next day it's the exact opposite. If this guy was your doctor, your trainer, your financial advisor, you'd fire him. You'd think he was crazy. But he's a political strategist, so you're like, okay. Hollywood says the country's just racist.
America made a decision that I strongly disagree with, and it seems that we are reaping the whirlwind right now. Oh, he's a bigot, so. It's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that. Right. Whenever he talks about competence and qualifications, any white man will do for him.
Wow.
More minorities voted for Trump than any other Republican in 20 years. But John Legend is so insightful. All these blacks and Hispanics were tricked. They were duped by a white supremacist president. If only they had the emotional antenna of John Legend, a singer.
Yeah, because he really knows
usually
what to do.
traffic in the superficial. And
let me show you this, guys. Again, I bring the receipts. We got new breaking news, guys, that their 2 federal judges may hold Trump in contempt as he defies courts in the immigration crackdown. 2 now are saying that they are ready to put Trump in prison because of him trying to crack down on the immigration policies. Hold him in contempt. Remember, they held Steve Bannon in contempt, Navarro in contempt. That's why they served jail time. Now they're saying that to a president of the United States. Guys, they're losing it. Let me know your thoughts. Because I'm telling you what, DOJ, they're not going to put Trump in prison. It ain't going to happen.
Can't see who people really are and what really motivates them. Most of the country has a connection to Trump that goes much deeper than race. They trust him. They trust his track record, and they trust his vision for the country because he believes that they love him as much as he loves them.
Among those who voted for Donald Trump, they're going to back him no matter what happens. If the markets go down, they should have gone down. They were too high priced. If countries stop doing business with us, it doesn't matter because we shouldn't be doing business with them. That the Trump voters are willing to justify just about anything that Donald Trump does because they are truly loyalists. And I've never seen anything like this in my political career, that kind of commitment to a president, even in bad times. Those who voted for him are still behind him, and they will justify just about anything.
The president doesn't talk down to the country. He gained their respect because he punched the snobs in the face and gave the American people license to live their lives without being nagged, censured, and disrespected. Democrats thought they could just talk at you and win you over.
Because you're not smart enough.
Trump talks to you, and he listens.
Yes.
And even after a shellacking, Democrats don't want to talk to you.
I don't really talk to people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, that's not, I don't need to talk to them. Because if we look at the last election, 90 million eligible voters did not vote. That's a whole lot of people that we can reach.
I think you should talk to people who voted for Trump. And the reason I think you should is because then you'll understand the why. And I think that's where Democrats just simply failed.
Fair. Yes.
Really?
They didn't know, they couldn't understand the why.
So remember when Newsom told Tampon we need to understand the other half of America, and Tampon said, no, we don't. They should just go and crawl under a rock. Tampon was supposed to win the Heartland, and he just told the Heartland he's better than you. George Clooney has some more advice for Democrats after his last act in politics gave birth to Kamala. George is now telling Democrats they need better representatives with a sense of humor and purpose against charismatic Trump. Clooney's basically saying Democrat politicians need to be more like him.
Be more like him. Guys, I'm telling you, all these fights that are happening right now, this morning, Trump just asked this U.S. Supreme Court to allow his ban on transgenders in the military to take full effect. From the AP, it's going to come down to Justice Barrett or Roberts. Guys, I'm telling you, Amy Coney Barrett, she's out for me. She has sided way too much with the leftist Democrats on non-America First policies. This is a big, big problem right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I feel like the Supreme Court is compromised. I want to say thank you so much to everybody. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, because guys, the big news is that we're finally hearing that they're going after the Trump justice team is digging their heels in, and the arrests are coming. I want to show you this, guys. This is from the leading report right here. After several meetings with officials inside the Trump Justice Department, arrest will begin soon, says Trump insider. Are you ready to see this happen? Because dang it, I sure am. Look at this.
Mike Davis, the Viceroy, obviously people rattled with the Pam Bondi thing yesterday, but here's the point. With Harmeet Dillon going over, aren't they so overwhelmed with so much they got going on? Isn't the best thing to do, I had a long talk with Fenton about this, isn't the best thing to do is just set up a special counsel or special prosecutor, however you want to do it, that gets rolling on these things, and so they can independently go build a staff and just have this as their entire focus? Is that not an alternative to try to do it in the building with everything else they've got going on? And not just that, with bigger things coming down, every action President Trump's taking. Now he's being sued in every state by Newsom and these guys on the tariffs. Every action he's going to take, their strategy is lawfare. That's what they thought was going to put Trump away. They stole the 2020 election using lawfare. They tried to crush Trump and send him to prison and bankrupt and all of us through lawfare. Lawfare's that's their main thing. That's what they got. That's what going after the law firms is so brain of President Trump. But lawfare is what they've got. That's what works. Everything else has not worked for them. This works, and that's what they're going to press on. So given what's ahead of, including this constitutional crisis, that we're going to go up to the Supreme Court on this thing, wouldn't you think it would be better? And I'm not volunteering you. There's a number of people out there that could do this. But isn't it better to get one guy and designate him and mandate him and let him roll on these investigations of taking down the deep state, sir?
So wait, you want the Trump administration to hire one federal prosecutor to go after the Democrat lawfare and election interference, going all the way back to Crossfire Hurricane that we've been talking about on this show for 3 years. I would say this, Steve, maybe, just maybe, that's already happening. And maybe, just maybe, the Viceroy had a little hand in that. Okay. And maybe, just maybe, you're going to start seeing some public announcements here in the coming.
Guys, I'm telling you, the biggest news ever. We showed you the leaked reports are coming out. Everybody's starting to see it, that things are already in the mix. We're getting all these leaked reports that, guess what? It's about to happen. The announcements are about to happen. All this lawlessness that's about to happen. The FBI, the DOJ, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, they're all in on it. They've all been working together, guys. We're 3 months in, and everything that I'm seeing in the leaked reports is that we're about to see, when it comes to the Bidens, when it comes to the Clintons, Shifty Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, guys, all these people, Letitia James, Merrick Garland, Alejandro Mayorkas, guys, I'm seeing all these names on all the stuff that I'm looking at, that these people are about to see some justice.
Okay. You've answered my question. Mike Davis, I would posit they don't care about the 90-10 politics. They don't care about this guy being a human smuggler. We have to make sure they're identified and they embrace that, and we make that when it goes to the Supreme Court. Here's why. It's not even about these criminals. It's about the 10 million that they're going to use Wall Street and corporate America and themselves to get. First off, you're not going to have the apparatus or the will to deport, because the Supreme Court's about to come out and lay out a policy, a process that you can't do. Wall Street's going to say you're going to kill the economy. They're going to take 2% of the growth if you get rid of these people, because every penny they get, they spend on, except for the billions they send out of the country home, they spend on Fritos and the consumer type of stuff that's easily consumable, and rents. And the corporate is going to say it's the way we keep wages down, which is horrible, but for them it's good. So, Mike, how far off am I that they're going to use this? As bad as he is, they're going to go to the Supreme Court with this guy about this thing of due process and try to force Trump's hand as commander-in-chief, and I think have a ruling, because ACB and Roberts are gutless and they're cowards. and they don't want to take the heat because the heat here will be 100 times hotter than the young girls out there when they had the abortion, the ones who want to murder babies out there when, on the abortion situation, the Dobbs decision. Am I incorrect in this? And then they're going to tell Trump, hey, tough guy, the Supreme Court just ruled, suck on that. And then Trump's going to be in a dilemma. Or he's not a dilemma, he's going to have a decision. Is he not, sir?
I mean, I think that's a very likely outcome that you just described. I will say this to the Trump administration, that they need to start playing hardball. If the Supreme Court, look, illegal immigrants do not have constitutional due process rights. The only due process rights illegal immigrants have are what Congress provide by statute. So if there is not statutory due process for illegal immigrants, they don't have due process, right? And that's the key. And so if the Supreme Court, with this MS-13 and Tren de Aragua terrorism, with these terrorism cases, if they think they're going to make up constitutional due process, there needs to be a severe backlash by the political branches, right? The Chief Justice needs to understand there will be severe political consequences for this, including talks about cutting the federal judiciary's budgets, including aggressive congressional oversight, including jurisdiction stripping. And I think the Trump administration needs to take an aggressive approach as well. If you're going to require constitutional due process, like you have for American citizens, that January 6th defendants didn't get for years, but if you're going to require this for Tren de Aragua terrorists and MS-13 gangbangers, we need to make this very painful for the elites, right?
Yes.
Because right now, the elite...
Guys, right now, they're fighting. Look what just happened. Oh, this happened, guys, this morning. A Obama judge bars Trump from defunding sanctuary cities. Judge William Orrick ruled that Trump's executive orders were unconstitutional and restrained and enjoined the president from directly or indirectly taking any action to withhold, freeze, or condition federal funds, and the administration must provide written notice of his order to all federal departments and agencies by Monday. Guys, how in the world, this is as bad as, anybody can get. You want to talk about living under a dictatorship, living under communism? This is what we're doing, living under these federal judges. They don't like how the president of the United States is running the country. They issue a TRO, temporary restraining order. They block him. They blocked almost every single one of his lawsuits. Now, guys, you know how many lawsuits are up against Trump right now? They don't say this in the media much. Over 200 lawsuits right now. Every Democratic AG, all these judges from Obama, from Biden, are all fighting Trump right now. We are in the biggest fight of our lives as a country. If we don't win this, guys, I'm telling you, we will be blue forever.
Wants to benefit from this cheap labor. They want to have cheap lettuce. They want to have cheap car washes. They want to have cheap fast food. They want to have cheap maids, cheap handymen. But they don't want to deal with these people, right? They want them to come into their communities, clean their houses, and get the hell out. So what needs to happen is, if you're going to have constitutional due process, then we need to do the Trump administration needs to start rounding up and detaining as many illegal aliens as possible. They're all criminals. Focus on the terrorist, MS-13 gangbangers, the violent people first, of course, but everyone is fair game. You detain them all, and you detain them in these white, woke, elitist enclaves like Chevy Chase, Maryland. And if these judges want to let them out of detention, they're going to be walking the streets of Chevy Chase instead of the working class streets of Aurora, Colorado.
Guys,
Mike Davis, the vice.
Let me tell you this. If there's not any picture that I'm about to show you that exemplifies the hypocritical nature of the Democratic Party, it is this right here. Socialists have two personalities. She comes out, she goes to this $50,000 a plate ball. I think it was $40,000 or $50,000. She wears a dress that says tax the rich. She then is seen leaving a private jet. If anybody knows about private jets, guys, they cost about $10,000 to $15,000 an hour for a flight on a private jet. This is a do as I say, don't do as I do. They want to tell everybody that they have to live down here, but they're going to live up here and then tell you that you're wrong for even thinking about looking and trying to live up here. That's the Democratic Party right now. There is so much breaking news that's going on, guys, and we're bringing it all to you. When it comes to the lawlessness, even this right here, this truly breaks my heart what I'm about to show you. This month, a DEI judge gave an admitted murder home release here in the Dallas area. Before, I'm not in Dallas, but that's what it's saying. A Houston judge lowered a violent felon's bail to $20,000, and upon release, he immediately got a firearm and attacked another woman. Guys, this is what is destroying America right now. This DEI stuff. So the DA said we need to put this person on a $1 million bail because there's a video out there of what he did to an older gentleman. Now, regardless of what was said, because it's just words, guys, at the end of the day, he literally stomped on him. This is an old guy, 60, 70 years old. Stomped on him, threw him around. He was put into jail, given a $1 million bail. The judge denies it, sets it at $20,000. He's released, and then he goes, grabs another firearm, attacks another woman, and now he's got to have another bail hearing. Guys, this is what the Democrat judges that are Soros prosecutors want. Lawlessness in the United States. Thank you so much. What's new for the super chat? Let's go. Said Trump will not stop fighting for us, and I support him and pray for his strength. Amen. And Queen of Yeshua, thank you so much for the super chat. Said I thought President Trump is boss of all the people. Obviously not. Yasho, Queen of Yeshua, and what's new? Some love in the chat. Guys, let me know your thoughts and comments on this in the chat, in the comments. Because this, I'm telling you, it's not just happening in Texas. It's happening all across the United States. And if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. That's why I get super happy about the pit bulls that are in Trump's cabinet right now. Because they are actually doing something about it. Check this out.
Is with us. What do you make of a party that has prioritized going after an illegal from El Salvador whose own wife in her own handwriting claimed he's a wife beater, that two judges designated as an MS-13 gang member, and this is now their priority. Their second priority is to help provide due process for international students that were supporting a designated terrorist group called Hamas. Help me out. What is their end game here?
The Democrat Party has become the party of terrorists and illegal aliens. That is the Democrat Party of today. Who does it sympathize with? Who does it fight for? Who does it move heaven and earth to protect? Illegal alien gang members and foreign terrorists. President Trump is leading a party for Americans, for all Americans, for American citizens. That's who he's fighting for, and he's doing it with a determination and a passion and a focus and a commitment we've never seen before. Let's talk just briefly about Tren de Aragua, the vicious gang that drills holes in people's hands, chops off their fingers, murders them in cold blood, a gang that, based on information that has been discovered by FBI, is even plotting assassination attempts inside the United States of America.
Wow.
In just the last few weeks, President Trump has found 300 ringleaders and top members of the Tren de Aragua terrorist organization. They are the ones that are now in Texas awaiting deportation under the Alien Enemies Act, stymied by judges, but Sean, they're going to get deported, they're going to get sent home. President Trump found them. 300 ringleaders and top executives of that terrorist organization in just the last couple of weeks. That is his level of determination, while the Democrat Party is flying around the world defending gangbangers and terrorists.
I've been saying, and I always add, I pray to God that I'm wrong, that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We now have, since Donald Trump has become president, less than 100 days, over 200 known or suspected terrorists, including one of India's most wanted terrorists. So you explain to me that if that day happens and we wake up and we turn on the news and we've been attacked, maybe 9/11 or worse style attack, they will have their blood on their hands. They've allowed this to happen.
Yes.
What's the estimate? 12, 14, 15 million unvetted Biden-Harris illegals? That's a lot of people. Known terrorists, gang members, cartel members. I mean, how many more people have to die before these people get on board?
Yeah, I mean, at least that many, Sean. So, look, you've cataloged the horrors that have been inflicted. The rapes, the beatings, the murders, the fentanyl deaths by the hundreds of thousands, the destruction of entire neighborhoods in this country because of the Democrat Party's policy of open borders these last 4 years. You mentioned the threat of international terrorism that is on our shores, the millions of gotaways who entered under the previous administration, on top of the millions more unvetted that were caught and released into the country, and the millions more that were allowed to either fly into the country or overstay their visas. It is a clear and present danger to the national security of this country, and we have federal judges telling President Trump that he can't deport these threats from our communities. This is the choice facing every American. Either we all side and get behind President Trump to remove these terrorists from our communities, or we let a rogue, radical left judiciary shut down the machinery of our national security apparatus. President Trump is going to see this through to his conclusion, and we will find and remove every terrorist from this country, and President Trump will make this nation safer than ever before, and he'll do it over the fighting and opposition of the Democrat Party, over the fighting and opposition of the communist left-wing judges, over the fighting and opposition of the far-left federal bureaucracy. He will not be deterred, Sean. He will see this through, I promise you.
I'll tell you, if this is the Democratic Party, and this is what they stand for, how do they possibly add voters to their rolls? Politics is about addition. Yeah, I don't think there's any American. This is an 80-20 issue, but they double down on this, and it's not safe for the country. Anyway, Stephen Miller, thank you.
Guys, I'm telling you, the United States, they just did another poll. Think about it like this. The poll has jumped up 11% since January of, is the country moving in the right direction? Are we on the right track? It was 28%. Now it's 39%. That's from Harvard. 11% jump. Guys, this is everybody saying that, dang, Trump actually knew what he was talking about. He was actually right. How many times, guys? Virginia Lamb, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, many thanks, Joel. I get my news from YouTube and almost nowhere else. You are the best. Let's go. And Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. I love it. Guys, OG of the channel. Y'all show Mr. Norby and Virginia some love in the chat. The other thing, guys, again, the left is getting called out. Guess what just happened? Because we reported this yesterday. This Minnesota District Attorney, Mary Moriarty, who chose not to prosecute a person that we 100% caught doing over $20,000 in damages to Tesla vehicles. This person was a Tim Walsh, the former VP candidate, VP candidate for the Democratic Party. She or he, however they identify, they, them, I don't know. They said, no, we're not going to prosecute. Even though we've got video evidence, we're not going to do it. Well, guess what? Today, she filed felony charges against a 19-year-old woman for allegedly keying her coworker's car. I guess she's yeah. And yet, she refused to charge Tim Walsh staffer who did over $20,000 in damages to 6 Teslas. A two-tiered justice system is coming out right now in the United States. The left don't even hide it anymore, guys. That's how bad it is. They do not care. And we are seeing it firsthand, guys. 100% They do not care. They're willing to spite their own guys to cause chaos. And I want you to hear this now, because, guys, I'm telling you, justice is coming.
And you've made quite a bit of news in my timeline going out and saying, like, everybody be patient. It's happening. Can you unpack that for us, please?
Well, first, I want to say, if we go back to that picture and my gut is hanging out, I need to get on that Steve Bannon prison diet. Look at him. He looks fit. He looks. Look at him. That guy's like 71 years old, and he's more fit than both of us. So, Ben, if we go to the gulag like Steve did, we can lose like 30 pounds.
That's right. You have the Donald Trump mugshot photo.
Look at that, guys.
Donald Trump has now said,
guys, if you appreciate that mugshot, guys, that mugshot type photo, guys, hit that thumbs up like button. I love it.
Mugshot again for my official portrait, which I think is a really good sign, right, about what's to come, because it's like Trump hasn't forgotten, Steve Bannon hasn't forgotten, and you damn well know, Mike, and you said it on the show many times, Kamala wins, you're going to the gulag. We all are. So,
well, based upon that picture of me, I think I could use a little bit of gulag time, maybe less red wine and more prison time to get rid of that gut. Holy cow! Anyway, the viceroy needs to get his stuff together.
All right, Viceroy. What did you learn on the DOJ this week?
It was a very productive week. I've gone over to the DOJ and the White House several times during my vice reign here in D.C. And I would say this: there are a lot of people who are concerned about what Pam Bondi is doing or not doing at the DOJ. I think the Epstein stuff got her tripped up. I would just say to your audience, justice is coming. I promise you, justice is coming. I went and met with the Attorney General Pam Bondi one-on-one. I met with her team in the Attorney General's office. I met with Todd Blanche. I met with Emil Bove. Todd Blanche is the Deputy Attorney General. I met with Emil Bove, who is his number two, the number two to the number two, the most powerful unknown position in the government. I met with Chad Mizell, the acting number three, and Pam's chief of staff. I met with Stanley Woodward. I met with Gail Slater. Harmeet Dillon's over there. Kash Patel's over there. Dan Bongino's over there. They're starting to fire on all cylinders. I promise you this. This is normal during a startup phase as you're getting people confirmed and staffed up. You're not going to have immediate results, but they've gotten a lot accomplished already publicly, for example, just firing a lot of the deep state, getting rid of these bad actors, chasing them out of the Southern District of New York, chasing them out of Maine Justice. They've closed a lot of these cases. They're opening cases. They're working on this. And I promise you that justice is coming. They're working with the FBI. They're working with these other law enforcement agencies. They're working with these agency heads. They're working with the DOJ leadership. Justice is definitely coming. I know it's coming.
So, we're doing the entire show based on Tulsi Gabbard's referrals for criminal prosecution, criminal leakers from inside the intel agencies. And we've sort of buttressed that with also the referrals for Letitia James for criminal prosecution. Are these criminal prosecutions going to be picked up by the DOJ? Because the system is that they don't have to criminally prosecute these referrals.
Well, I remember, Ben, what day was it? It was like the day after the election. I came on your show and we talked about Big Tish James. And I think we made some headlines. I got in trouble again, which is pretty routine on your show, which I enjoy. It doesn't bother me at all. But I think I told Big Tish that her fat ass may be going to prison. And wow, who knew that we would have been Nostradamus that day? Because now there is pretty compelling evidence that Big Tish, oh, there you go, I dare you. There was pretty compelling evidence that Big Tish James lied on a Virginia mortgage application. She said it was her primary residence, even though she's the New York Attorney General, so she can get a more favorable loan agreement in Virginia. And lo and behold, she was probably lying. And lo and behold, that's mortgage fraud. And lo and behold, there are prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia who will probably indict Tish James. I mean, it's pretty compelling evidence. Mm-hmm. And she's the one, remember, who brought the bogus fraud charge against civil fraud charge against President Trump for supposedly duping Wall Street banks, sophisticated Wall Street banks.
Guys, you cannot make this up. She's now been referred to the DOJ for prosecution for mortgage fraud, voter fraud. Guys, let me know in the chat, do you appreciate that the justice is coming? We are now hearing it from one of the insiders, guys, that works with the Trump administration, has the inside scoop, talks to the very people working on it. Justice is coming. GL Puffrey, man, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. He said, love Joel, the True Life News family. Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. Fred Samuel, thank you so much. And Gene Copedge, I love it. Thank y'all so much for the super chats. Y'all show them some love in the chat.
Paying them on time as agreed in full with interest. And Tish James said that Trump lied about the value of Mar-a-Lago. She said that Trump said Mar-a-Lago was worth, like $500 million, and it's worth double that. But and Tish James said, well, no, it's only worth $18 million because that's what the tax assessor says it's worth. If you just go on Zillow, go on Redfin, and look at what property cost in Palm Beach, Florida, the most expensive real estate in the world. Trump has 20 acres of the most prime real estate in the world. It's, I think, the only property that touches both the Atlantic Ocean and the intracoastal waterway. It's clearly worth at least $500 million, if not $1 billion or more. And to say that it's only worth $18 million, a tennis court at Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. And Big Tish took Trump to trial in New York on this and got Arthur Engeron, that nut job trial attorney, to railroad President Trump, where it was a kangaroo court. There was no due process. Now Democrats want due process for Tren de Aragua terrorists and MS-13 gangbangers who beat women and traffic women and rape kids. But suddenly they care about due process, but they didn't care about due process for President Trump. So I would say to Big Tish, when I warned her several months ago that we're going to put her in prison, I think that's actually going to come true.
So you believe that the DOJ is going to pick up these charges, and they're going to potentially put Big Tish on a prison diet. You began this by talking about prison diets, and you could potentially get that here. Maybe it would be a good thing. We're not sure, but you're saying that it could happen.
We'll either have to put her on a prison diet, or we're going to have to increase the Federal Bureau of Prisons food budget. So one of the two. But I would say to Big Tish, if you lied on your mortgage application, that's mortgage fraud. You're very familiar with the fraud statutes because you brought your bogus fraud case against Trump to try to derail his presidential campaign and bankrupt him. And I think they have Big Tish dead to rights on this. And so nobody's above the law. And if they don't indict Big Tish for this, they're giving her amnesty. So I don't think the Trump administration is going to give her amnesty. So I think they're going to indict her.
And what?
Guys, I'm telling you, justice is coming. So I got to show you this. Guys, this to me, I'm telling you, every single place, federal judge blocks Trump's effort to expand proof of citizenship for voter registration. Seriously? Another judge blocked? Well, guess what? That's not the only one. They are trying to block him from defunding sanctuary cities because they're using our taxpayer dollars. We're not talking millions. We're talking billions of taxpayer dollars to give to illegals in Medicare, Medicaid. Some got Social Security numbers. They said they didn't, but guess what? We found it out that they did. And this is 100% taking away from an American citizen that has been paying into the system their entire lives and handing it to somebody who just crossed the border just so that they can get their vote. Guys, it's disgusting. It's un-American. And these judges are having their way. The Supreme Court is not doing anything about it. Like, I'm seriously so upset right now with the Supreme Court. With the justices in the Supreme Court. You would have thought someone would have did something. But now we're looking at, okay, what's going to happen next? Who's going to be held accountable? One of the things that I'm trying to find out for you is, okay, Trump is going to take this and he's asking the Supreme Court, what are you going to do? You got Pam Bondi, Bongino, you have Kash Patel, who are going to fight within the justice system. But now it's like, how long is it going to take? Because if they cannot get it in a reasonable amount of time. The midterms are going to be here. And if the midterms get here and we still do not have things done and we lose the midterms, they're going to impeach Trump. Listen to this.
I was thinking about where I grew up in Wyoming. Like, the worst thing you could be is too big for your britches, right? The worst thing you could be was a blowhard. Nobody wanted to be around you. No one's going to come and help you move your cattle. No one's going to be your friend. The Democrats, especially the ones, for example, that just went to El Salvador, they are so online. They are so on the internet, and they are so addicted to these small dollar donors that are just way far on the left that they just continue to hit that, like Pavlov's dog. Like, if I do this video, will you like me? If I say this curse word, will you like me? Will you send me $10? Will you send me $15? Never stepping back to think, who do I admire most in the world? And if that person were listening to what I'm saying right now, would they be proud? They have to get outside, touch some grass, get off the phone, and figure out what it is that they are doing wrong. They're not doing that. And the country told them what they could do.
They're like political OnlyFans. You know, they're just like sitting in front of a screen, give me money and I'll do this for you.
Yeah, and whatever it is. And for the rest of them, be damned. And if you think about it, if you're Cory Booker and you think, I'd like to give it a shot to run for president again, and you think you have to win the primary first, they will win that primary over and over and over again. And they'll not win, and they won't win the general. President Trump dismantled their coalition. And I think that another thing is really important. And Doug Sosnick, who was on the Mark Halperin clip, he's a Clinton-era political guy. I always pay attention to what he says. He totally gets it. I believe that Joe Biden's win in 2020 was the aberration, that the direction the country was going was Trump. Trump would have won re-election, I believe, if COVID hadn't happened. COVID happened. That was the aberration.
Trump's not the fluke.
Right.
Biden was the fluke.
I believe so.
Your advice book, I wish someone had told me. Dana Perino, it's out now. You can get it where books are sold, or Amazon, or FoxNews.com probably.
Yeah, FoxNewsBooks.com and Bookshop.org is something I love. They help the independent bookstores.
Tell me about this book and what you learned about maybe good advice that you could have used years ago.
Well, I was actually, so I did a thing called Short Questions with Dana Perino, and they were fun. It was like sort of snackable content that you could go through. Yes, you could scroll through it. And everybody really liked it. And I started getting bored with the questions I was asking because they were boring. Like, what's your favorite app on your phone? So when I asked, what's the best advice you ever got? Or what's the best advice you'd like to give? The answers were so good, I thought, let me put it all together. This book is also different from ones I've done before, which were targeted to young women. Now it's targeted to everybody.
You're going after the guys now.
I am. I want to. And actually, at the end, I liked one thing that you said back here. I said, what's the best advice you ever got? And you talk about life is about good decisions.
Yes.
And that everything is a decision.
Yes.
Like, are you going to read tonight or are you going to watch TV? Are you going to eat that? Are you going to drink that? Are you going to go out with this person? Are you going to go for that job? Are you going to volunteer to work on the holidays? Things like that.
Guys, and let me tell you this, when it comes to the best decisions we ever made, that was putting President Trump back in office. So check this out. President Trump is about to take the major action against Act Blue, the Democrats' fundraising arm. This is huge. Trump is set to sign a memorandum targeting foreign contributions in American elections. AG Pam Bondi is reportedly to be involved in the crackdown on Act Blue. Guys, the biggest slush money funds coming for the Democratic Party were two. One was USAID. The other one is Act Blue. There's actually three. And the other one is NGOs. Trump is going after their money. Because I'm telling you this, he wants not only to crush them, but he wants to take them out for good. And a lot of people, guys, I'm telling you, a lot of people are coming out and saying, you know what? Trump is doing more than anybody else in Congress, and a lot of people are saying this. We need a new Speaker of the House. Vacate the chair. Give it to Jim Jordan. Give it to somebody who's going to stand up and fight for America and not just cower to the Democrats and trying to negotiate. There is no negotiation with them. When these Democrats want to put these sexualized books into kindergarten classes, they've lost it. They've lost all credibility. They've lost all merit. You cannot work with that. That right there, there is something wrong up here, guys. You cannot, that to me almost is at the point where it's unfixable unless something drastic happens. And I feel like in order to get Trump's agenda done, we are going to need a new speaker. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, for the super chat. Carmia Alexander. She said, let's all agree that the enemy will be bound and that President Trump will be loose to do his job in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. And Lenore Eisenhower, welcome to the family. Mr. Norby says, show the love and giving to the family. Get out of your comfort zone. I thank y'all for being a part of this family. Funhouse, are we having fun yet? Let's go. And B1 Sly One, I got to read his. Tipping your barber. You look like you can run twice as fast now, brother. Haha, keep up the hard work. Let's go, guys. I had to get my hair done because my barber, stuff happened, scheduling on vacation, things like that, and I'm a week late. So that's why my hair got a little crazy. But what I love is that, again, too, we're going to get things fixed up, guys. We're going to look clean. I got to look clean for you. I want to show you this, guys, because a lot of people is asking who's going to be the next leader of DOGE. Who's going to run it after Elon Musk leaves? So we got the report for you right here. Check this out.
DOGE caucus founder and co-chair thereof is Congressman Aaron Bean, joining me now. Congressman, can DOGE be run effectively without Musk's direct and full-time influence?
Stuart, it's great to be. It's always a treat to be on your program, Stuart. Yes, we are. It's a bummer. It's a bummer Elon's leaving. We all knew. I mean, it was no secret that he was there for just a limited time. But certainly to see him ease out, as the president say, it is just the start of the DOGE movement. You know, the hardest part of any endeavor, it really is the launch. And Elon has put the DOGE effort into orbit. We are going to continue as strong as ever, Stuart.
Well, the latest polls show a majority support the work DOGE is doing, but they're not so hot on Musk's handling of the department. Is he personally unpopular?
You know, I'm still trying to wrap my arms. I've watched you several times trying to discuss it of why he is so vilified. You know, I've given the example many times. It's like somebody broke into your house and stole from you. Elon Musk reviews your security footage tape and says, here's the guy that did it. And then people are mad. You don't have any right to look at our security footage. So it's a shame, you know, but I do believe this, Stuart. I believe that his team is going to remain largely intact. I still believe secretly that Elon will still be a little bit involved. He has the president's ear. But what I don't know is who's going to be the new leader of the DOGE effort for the president. So we'll just have to wait and see who the far left hates next.
Well said. The president, we just ran a soundbite from President Trump, and he said, look, DOGE has saved $200 billion so far. Can you confirm that number? Because that's a very big number.
Well, contracts and loony programs are being rolled back, but here's the proof is going to be in the pudding, and here's the pudding that Congress is hopefully going to be feasting upon sometime very soon, and it's called a rescission package. It's coming from the White House, and it's money. So you see, once DOGE cuts effort, the money stays with these agencies. So they stay with the agencies, and the agencies, in theory, could repurpose it and still spend it. But until it's sent back to Congress, it still remains with those agencies. So a rescission package, which is coming, and the first one's coming in the next couple of weeks. The USA, that was what broke the whole. I can't believe they're spending money on this effort. That money from Marco Rubio is going to be given to Congress, and if we vote on it, we'll accept that money back. It's over $9 billion, I believe, of money that then we can use that to hopefully pay down the debt and repurpose that money to.
We're waiting for the rescission package. Can't wait. Aaron Beam, Congressman, thanks.
Guys, let me tell you this. I get nervous, guys, when they talk about the rescission package, when they talk about the money spending with this guy in charge. Why? Because I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think he's too much of a nice guy. I don't see him much of a backbone to be able to fight off and keep everybody in line Let me know your thoughts, because a lot of people are calling for him to resign. Change court. Hey, bro, step down. Because what Trump is doing, look at this chart right here, guys. U.S. tariff revenue hits record $15 billion in April, surging over 60%. Trump's, look at this. His policies are going to make America richer. They're going to bring more money into the fold. Going to help us do what? Be the greatest that we can ever be, the golden age. But it's going to take more than Trump after he leaves. A lot of people, I don't know though. What I'm about to show you next, guys, I just showed you it earlier. This just came out on his store. Trump 2028 hat. What? This is on the Trump store. Golly, I don't know. Let me know. Would you vote for Trump for a third term? A lot of people said he should have been for 2020, but it was stolen. Let me know your thoughts, guys. The biggest thing that we're facing right now, of course, is the judges. The biggest thing we're trying to get past is just trying to make sure that we get justice. Because right now, it's not happening, guys. I can promise you this. If the Supreme Court does not step in with what Trump has just said, who is calling them out, we're not going to see us move forward together. Check this out.
Joining me now is Mike Davis, founder and president of Article 3 Project. Mike, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. This new form of lawfare, I know we've seen different variations of lawfare, but is what we're seeing now, where judges from all different courts are coming in and trying to rein the president in on his executive powers, is that something we're going to have to live with for the full term of Trump?
President Trump campaigned on the fact he's going to secure our border. He's going to deport illegal immigrants who are all criminals, especially Tren de Aragua, foreign terrorists, and MS-13 gangbangers. And President Trump is doing exactly what he promised American voters he would do. He has the support of the House and the Senate. So these plaintiffs are running to judicial activists, judicial saboteurs, who are not exercising judicial review. They are exercising judicial sabotage. And the Supreme Court has allowed this to go on for way too long. I'm wondering when these 7 self-appointed generals on the Supreme Court and their legal advisors at the ACLU are going to let the president do his job as commander-in-chief and get these terrorists out of our country.
Well, you mentioned the border issues, which he certainly campaigned on, but he also campaigned on cutting government, cutting the waste and fraud out of government. And he's been doing it in all the different agencies with the help of DOGE, of course. But this is just breaking now. There's a D.C. court judge, not surprisingly from Washington, D.C., Royce Lamberth, who just is calling for the restoration of all those who lost their jobs at Voice of America. So I'm just wondering, will there be some Supreme Court ruling over the next several months, or maybe even if I have to wait a year for it, as long as it comes down, that would stop this kind of lawfare? Is it conceivable that we could get some Supreme Court ruling like that?
Well, it depends. These should be 9-0 decisions for the president because he's exercising core Article 2 executive power. He's not stealing Congress's legislative power under Article 1 of the Supreme Court's judicial power under Article 3. So I guess it depends on if the Supreme Court justices are going to show up with their backbones at work when they have to rule on these cases.
Next one, Mike, and this has less to do with lawfare than it does with the coalition of the legacy media working with insiders inside the Beltway, some of whom are part of the deep state and been there for decades. Others are kind of newcomers, but specifically regarding Secretary of Defense Hegseth and all this information that's coming out. I know you helped out with his nomination process and his getting in there as SecDef, but I want to play a soundbite from Pete from this morning. He was on Fox, and he talks about what's going on. I'm going to roll that and get your reaction. Roll it.
This is what it's all about, trying to get at President Trump and his agenda. Why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary? So if they want to keep leaking and pushing and peddling things that try to sabotage the president's agenda, that's unfortunate. but that's how leaking works in this town. We're focused on recruiting, on rooting out DEI, on securing our southwest border, on the president's agenda, and it's going very well at the Pentagon, and I'm proud of it.
So, Mike, what? So, guys, I'm telling you this. The lawfare is not going to stop. They are moving into action right here. This is from the leading report. After several meetings with officials inside the Trump Justice Department, arrest will begin soon, says Trump insider. Let me know your thoughts. Are you ready for this to happen? Man, I'm ready for justice to come back. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, guys. Thank you to all of our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to serve you with the top news every single day. Want to thank all of our members of the channel. Want to give some love to them. Remember, when you donate or you're a member, you give a super chat. We use that money. We give it to local charity on the 22nd of every month. And we just gave $2,100 live on stream to local charity because of your support. I want to give some love to those that are giving some super chats today. I want to give some love to T Heavy Guy for gifting 10 True Life News memberships. Deanna Lawrence, What's New, Queen of Yeshua, Virginia Lamb, Mr. Tracy J. Normie, OG of the channel, Gia Poffreeman, Fred Samuel, Gene Copage, Carmia Alexander, Lenore Eisenhower, Jeff Loves the Truth, B1 Sly One, Fred, Jeff Loves the Truth. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Fred Samuel said everyone needs to be calling their congressman and demand that they defund these judges. Jeff Loves Truth said, Joel, were they doing a recount on the federal judge race in Wisconsin? I remember hearing something, if not that. Guys, let me tell you this. I'm ready for the justice. Y'all show them some love in the chat, guys. We're going to bring you some updates tonight, guys. I'm so thankful for your support. Couldn't do this without you. Me and my family are so grateful. We want to continue serving you every day with the top news, guys. We bust our butt to give you the best show. It's all about you. It's all about America, putting the truth first and making sure we take care of our own. Thank you so much for liking these videos. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so. Thank you for sharing these videos. Let's get the truth out there, guys. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.